You pop into the grocery store or scroll online, grab a little jar of bright red saffron threads for your fancy paella, golden rice, or that expensive health tea everyone's talking about. You pay a pretty penny because it's supposed to be the world's most expensive spice. But here's the mind-blowing part: there's a really good chance that what you just bought is totally fake. Studies show in some markets, up to half or more of the saffron out there is junk, just dyed corn silk, safflower petals, or cheap plant bits colored with chemicals. Criminals are raking in millions while you think you're getting the real deal. Welcome to the shady underworld of saffron fraud. Stick around because this is wild. So, let's start with how real saffron is actually supposed to work. Saffron comes from a beautiful purple flower called Crocus sativus. Inside each flower are just 3 tiny red threads. Those are the stigmas, the only part you can use. Farmers have to pick every single flower by hand at sunrise because the sun kills the good stuff fast. It takes about 150,000 flowers to make just 1 single kilogram of dried saffron. That's why people call it red gold. No machines can do this delicate work. It's all manual labor. 1 kilogram can take hundreds of hours of hard work. Iran grows about 90% of all the saffron in the world, using ancient underground water systems in super dry areas. This supports tons of farming families in poor regions and has been going on for centuries. Real top-grade saffron from Iran sells wholesale for around $2,900 to $3,000 per kilo. That's why it's expensive, it's rare, it's labor-intensive, and it's genuinely special. That's the honest way it's always been done. Now here's where things start to go wrong. Demand for saffron has gone through the roof lately. People want it more for cooking, plus it's popping up in medicines, beauty products, and supplements because of all the proven health benefits. The global saffron market is exploding. It's already worth hundreds of millions and is projected to hit around $750 million to over $1 billion by 2030 to 2032, growing at about 6 to 8% every year. But supply can't keep up. Climate change is hitting hard. Crazy droughts, weird weather patterns, and heat waves are wiping out crops in Iran and places like Kashmir. Yields are dropping, water is getting scarce, and farmers' costs are going up. So real saffron stays crazy expensive, and shortages make the gap between supply and demand huge. That's when the criminals see dollar signs and jump in. This is the juicy true crime part. The Mafia-style fraudsters don't bother growing saffron, it's way too much work. Instead they fake it cheap and easy. Here's exactly how they do it. They take super cheap stuff like corn silk, safflower petals, or other plant fibers. They dye them bright red or yellow with chemicals so they look exactly like real saffron threads. Sometimes they mix in a tiny bit of real saffron to trick basic tests, then bulk it up and sell it as premium grade 1 stuff. They slap on fancy packaging, fake origin labels, and boom, it looks legit. They smuggle it across borders in huge shipments, often through Europe or online stores. And these aren't small-time crooks. It's organized crime treating saffron like a high-profit drug. Real examples? In 2021, Spanish police and Europol busted a gang that made about €10 million selling fake saffron. They arrested 17 people, seized nearly half a ton of the stuff, plus luxury cars, jewelry, and counterfeiting machines. They were mixing real Iranian saffron with herbs and banned dyes, then relabeling it as fancy Spanish saffron. Then in 2022, another Spanish operation called Operation Garden caught 11 more people. They seized 2,000 kilos of adulterated saffron worth €750,000 as part of a €3 million scam. These gangs are laundering money and flooding markets worldwide. It's big business for the underworld. Okay, here's the plot twist that'll make you mad. Why don't the big supermarkets or governments just stop all this? The answer is simple. Money. Stores can buy this super cheap fake saffron and still sell it at a nice profit while keeping the price low for customers. Shoppers get affordable saffron, supermarkets make more margin, and everyone's happy. Except the real farmers in Iran who lose sales and can barely survive. Governments and groups like Europol do run raids and issue warnings, but testing every single jar is expensive and tough. A lot of the fraud hides in tourist shops, online sellers, and loose markets. As long as people keep buying the cheap stuff without asking questions, the cycle keeps going. But don't worry, you don't have to get ripped off anymore. Here's how to spot real saffron at home in seconds. No fancy lab needed. Take a few threads and drop them in a glass of warm, not boiling, water. Real saffron slowly turns the water a beautiful golden yellow color, and the threads stay bright red. Fake stuff? It bleeds red or orange right away and the water looks weird fast. Real threads are thin, a little trumpet-shaped at one end, and smell like sweet hay and honey, not just strong perfume or chemicals. Rub them between your fingers and they should stain a nice yellow-orange. Always check the label. Look for a harvest date, not just an expiration date. The ISO 3632 grade Category I is the best, and a trusted origin like Iran from reputable sellers. Buy whole threads, not cheap powder. So, have you ever suspected the saffron in your kitchen might be fake? Drop a comment below and tell us your story. Maybe you've been burned before. If this video blew your mind or saved you some cash, smash that like button, subscribe for more food crime stories like this, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. Stay smart, stay skeptical, and keep cooking with the real stuff. See you in the next video.